T-minus 15 seconds and counting. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, liftoff.
Spacewalk propulsion is nominal.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from pad 40 and throttled down to prepare for max Q, which is coming up at T plus 1 minute.
Power and telemetry nominal.
1 minute and about 12 seconds. Max Q is the highest amount of aerodynamic pressures. That's the largest structural load that the vehicle will see on ascent. We throttle down those engines just to pass through max Q, and then we'll throttle them back up once we pass through that period.
Falcon 9 is supersonic. Maximum dynamic pressure.
And great news, we have passed through max Q. You're getting some excellent views there on your screen.
Main engine cutoff. Stage separation confirmed. MVAC ignition.
Some really cool views of MECO stage separation, and on your right-hand screen, you can see that the MVAC engine has ignited.
Both vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
On your left-hand screen, the grid fins on the first stage are deploying.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And there you can see on your right-hand screen that the fairing halves have deployed. Now, as I mentioned previously, both fairing halves are brand new and are now making their way back down to Earth and will be recovered by our recovery vessel, Doug, today. It is T plus 4 minutes into today's mission, and in order to complete today's landing, the first stage has 2 more burns left. Next up is the entry burn, and that's where 3 of the Merlin 1D engines will reignite. This helps to slow the vehicle down as it re-enters the upper parts of the Earth's atmosphere. Now, that entry burn is coming up in about a couple minutes from now, and that entry burn will last about 20 seconds long. And what you're looking at on your screen, on your left-hand side, is a view from the first stage vehicle, currently making its way back down to Earth, which you can see in the background. And on your right-hand screen is a view from the second stage, looking aft at our MVAC engine.
Acquisition of signal, Bermuda.
That entry burn is coming up here just about a minute and a half
Both
from now.
vehicles continue to follow nominal trajectories.
And good call-outs there. On the bottom of your screen, you can see the speed and altitude of each vehicle as well. And on your left-hand screen, you can see 2 of the 4 hypersonic grid fins that the first stage has. Those grid fins help guide the vehicle as it makes its way back to its landing zone. Again, today we are scheduled to land on a shortfall of gravitas, currently in the Atlantic Ocean, waiting for the first stage vehicle. And on your screen, you're getting a great view from the second stage with the MVAC there and the Earth looking amazing in the background. We're just about 20 seconds away from the entry burn on the first stage vehicle. And there you can see the engines have reignited on the first stage on your left-hand screen. This is the entry burn with 3 of 9 M1D engines reignited. And you can see that those engines have shut down. That concludes the entry burn for the first stage. Now we do have one more burn for the first stage vehicle as it attempts to land on our drone ship, and that is the landing burn. It will just be a single engine, the center E9 engine reigniting, and that is enough thrust to help slow down the vehicle to enable it to touch down on our drone ship. The landing burn has begun on the first stage vehicle.
Expected loss of signal, Cape. Nominal orbit insertion.
What an incredible clear view of Falcon 9 touching down on a shortfall of gravitas. This landing marks the second successful landing for this particular booster and marks our 204th overall successful recovery of an orbital class rocket, including both Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy first stages. We also heard the call out for SECO 1 and confirmation of good orbit. So with confirmation of a successful second engine cutoff and first stage landing, we are going to be in a coast phase until just before the second relight of our MVAC engine on the second stage, which will be followed by payload deploy. So sit tight and we'll see you back here around the T plus 17 minute mark. Welcome back to the live webcast for the Euclid mission. If you're just joining us, liftoff occurred at 11:12 a.m. Eastern Time from Space Launch Complex 40 in Florida. After liftoff, we also had successful main engine cutoff, stage separation, ignition and shutdown of the second stage, bearing separation, and first stage landing. Now, coming up shortly, we'll have our second burn of our MVAC engine on stage 2 prior to payload deploy, which basically means that we will relight and shut down the second stage engine for a second and last time. Now, SES-2 is coming up here in just about 10 seconds or so. Again, SES-2 is second stage engine start 2, and then we will shut down that MVAC engine about a minute and a half later.
MVAC ignition.
There we heard that call out, and you can see on your screen that the MVAC has reignited. Again, this burn will last about 90 seconds, and it will be the last burn of stage 2 before we deploy the payload.
MVAC shutdown.
We've just had SECO-2.
Nominal orbit insertion.
There's that call out. We just had SECO-2 and confirmation of good orbit. So with successful second engine start and cutoff, we'll join you live to cover payload deployment in about 20 minutes. So we'll see you in a few. Thanks for joining us once again for the ESA Euclid launch. We've had a great mission so far, and we have just one more major milestone left in our mission, which is payload deploy. Built and operated by the European Space Agency, or ESA, with contributions from NASA and the Euclid Consortium, the Euclid spacecraft will be operated from European Space Operations Center in Darmstadt, Germany. It will explore dark matter and dark energy, which combined is known to make up 95% of the universe as we know it, and create an unmatched 3D map of the universe with time as the third dimension by observing billions of galaxies across 10 billion years of cosmic time across more than a third of the sky. Now, deployment is coming up here in just a few seconds.
Euclid spacecraft separation confirmed.
And there you can see the Euclid payload drifting away from Falcon 9's second stage. With that confirmation, we'll bring today's webcast to a close. Today's mission marked SpaceX's 243rd overall mission to date and 44th mission of this year. We want to thank the European Space Agency for entrusting us with today's mission and all of you for joining us. If you're interested in following the Euclid mission further, tune into youtube.com/ESA for more. And be on the lookout for the first images from the Euclid telescope later this fall. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.